Chapter 932. Shi Sui said lazily, "It's nothing. I'll do it if I want to." But logically speaking, Mr. C probably won't accept this variety show for you. From a personal point of view, you can totally find other ways to help Li Jianyu. Xiangyi rested her chin on her hand and was a little distressed. It's so strange. I keep feeling that participating in a variety show isn't something you would do. Shi Sui chuckled and didn't say anything. There wasn't any special reason. It was just, he wanted to have a chance to be together with a certain little bunny openly. Even if it was a small and uncertain opportunity, it would be good. Shi Sui wouldn't tell anyone that if Xiangyi didn't agree to participate in this show, then he wouldn't come either. He just schemed a little against Li Jianyu and hinted that as long as Xiangyi participated, he would participate. Then, his good son Li Jianyu, his good friend Li Jianyu really thought of a way to invite Xiangyi. Little did he know that Li Jianyu had also schemed a little against Xiangyi and told her that Shi Sui had already agreed to come. "Why don't you come too?" That was all there was to it. Seeing that Shi Sui didn't want to answer, Xiangyi didn't ask any more questions. She calculated the schedule and said, "There's still a week before we start filming. Why don't we go on a trip?" Shi Sui, "Is there a city you want to go to?" Xiangyi, "Country B city? I've been wanting to eat there for a long time." The young best actor's eyes were full of affection. "Okay, I'll listen to you. What about you? Is there anything you want to do?" Shi Sui said calmly, "Catching up on sleep with you." Xiangyi, "Huh? Then we'll set off later tomorrow. You can sleep a little more." "This isn't what I think." Shi Sui coughed lightly and skipped this ambiguous topic. "Let's go. Don't let them wait too long." Considering the popularity of Shi Sui and Xiangyi, Li Jianyu booked a private restaurant with good privacy and confidentiality. However, by the time Xiangyi and Zhang Zian arrived, they were still surrounded by the restaurant's owner, waiters, and chefs. To be precise, they were surrounding Xiangyi. "Wow. She's Sister E in real life. Big brother fan boss. Little girl, what do you want to eat? Uncle will make it for you. Uncle Pink Chef. Cub, Mama has finally seen our cub. Mama fan waiter." Li Jianyu was dumbfounded. Sister E is too ruthless. "Men, women, old, and young," Ruan Qing said teasingly, "seniority is the real deal." If it were any other celebrity being surrounded by so many people, some of them might not have given them a good look. However, Xiangyi was all smiles the entire time. She took photos and signed autographs. As they chatted, she even went directly to the kitchen with Uncle Chef to exchange cooking experiences. Everyone, wow. She's indeed our Sister E. The weather was hot and the room was stuffy. Everyone simply moved the table to the courtyard and enjoyed the cool night breeze as they gossiped in full swing. Have you guys checked Weibo? There are more than 20 trending topics in the top 50 that are related to Shi Sui's Sister E. The Melon forum is also exploding. There's a post calling for a second season and the number of replies has already exceeded a few thousand. It's now the most popular post on the forum. The same goes for short videos. The content of our last episode is everywhere, especially the part where Sister E cried. It's absolutely beautiful. Everyone was chatting happily when footsteps and laughter suddenly came from the door. The two groups of people looked at each other and the atmosphere suddenly became strange. Chapter 933. Outside the door, in the center of the crowd, was a female artist who was as thin as a piece of paper. Her facial features were exquisite and beautiful, and her skin was so white that it seemed to glow. She exuded a completely different temperament from ordinary people. It was Shan Ruohua, who had been hyped up as the best female celebrity in terms of goods delivery some time ago. She debuted as a singer, and later became good at singing and acting. Regardless of her acting skills, her fans regarded her as a goddess because of her outstanding appearance. Some time ago, on the day that Xiangyi, Shi Sui, and Yan Kai started a live broadcast in and out of China, her fans tried to tear Xiangyi apart, but ended up losing face instead. However, in today's entertainment industry, black celebrities were also popular. Shan Ruohua relied on that popularity to increase her salary by a lot. Moreover, whether it was a coincidence or intentional, Shan Ruohua also participated in a live broadcast variety show. The theme was about female celebrities who had debuted for many years and were remaking their debut as a girl group. Although it wasn't as popular as Two Under One Roof, there were still about 10 million online viewers during several live broadcasts. When the director of the girl group's live broadcast saw Lee Jianyu, his eyes lit up instantly. He stepped forward and fawned over him for a long time before waving his hand. "Waiter, move out the table in our private room, we'll also sit in the courtyard and eat." After the waiter moved the table, he slapped his head and pretended to apologize. "Director Lee, you don't mind, do you? It's all my fault, I'll punish myself with 3 glasses later. To be honest, I just want to bask in the joy of your show." The corners of Lee Jianyu's mouth twitched slightly, but he couldn't say anything, so he could only laugh it off. The staff of Two Under One Roof visibly fell silent. Isn't this deliberately making things difficult for others? However, the director of the girl group was thick-skinned and asked Lee Jianyu for advice on how to do a live broadcast variety show. At the beginning, Lee Jianyu seriously explained, "First, the market positioning. This is very important. You have to grasp the right point. What the audience likes to watch now is not just hair-pulling and catfights. They can also watch heartwarming and healing." However, the director of the girl group always retorted, Director Lee, I'll call you brother. I understand what you're saying, I understand." Not only that, he kept picking on Lee Jianyu's faults and then showing off how good his concept and planning was. It could be said that he vividly explained what it meant to be annoying. His catchphrase was, "Tell the truth." He had repeated it so many times that everyone's ears felt like calluses had formed on them. It was fine if he was the only one who was annoying, but there was more to come. Shan Ruohua first mentioned, intentionally or otherwise, that she had accepted a luxury brand endorsement deal and appeared on the cover of a few fashion magazines. She had even been invited to the official Mid-Autumn Festival Gala, blah, blah. Then, she talked about her maintenance secrets, such as putting on 5 facial masks every day, even covering her feet. She also had to take a bath, use luxurious essential oils, and use expensive aromatherapy. Then, she changed the topic. "As for me, I won't be like some girls who only know how to revolve around the stove. I'll lose myself and only know how to please others, thinking that, only by grabbing a man's stomach can I grab a man's heart. As a woman of the new era, you have to be independent, strong, and have your own ideas. The books say that cooking is objectifying women. We women have to pursue our own rights. You know, this is called women's rights." She laughed sweetly. Of course, some girls definitely don't know about these advanced concepts. Chapter 934. This speech had a remarkable effect. It successfully made the entire courtyard fall silent. Lee Jianyu understood. Are they treating me and the program crew like fools? Haha. I'll teach you how to behave. Lee Jianyu pretended to be amazed. Wow, Goddess Shen, you're so insightful. I wonder which masterpiece it is. Can I go and read it? The girl group's director's expression changed slightly. With his skills, he could naturally tell that Lee Jianyu was deliberately pretending to be crazy. Just as he was about to remind Shan Ruohua, Ruan Qing proposed a toast to him. Director Ding, here's to you. I wonder if you're interested in variety shows? I have some connections here. Director Ding's eyes lit up and he instantly felt that the benefits at hand were more important. He lowered his voice and chatted with Ruan Qing excitedly. Thus, everyone present heard Shan Ruohua say the title of a book. Women are born princesses and are destined to be spoiled by men. It's such a famous book, yet you guys haven't read it? Someone secretly searched for it. Yes, the book's label was labeled as chicken soup for the feelings of both sexes. That's it? That's it? Lee Jianyu said. Ahem, good. What a good name. I must buy one. Shan Ruohua had always liked being flattered. She combed her hair and said confidently, "After reading this book, you'll understand what real women's rights are." As soon as she finished speaking, Xiangyi happened to come out of the kitchen. The girl was carrying a wooden tray with a small bowl on it that was steaming. She placed the bowl in front of Shi Sui. "Here, don't you have a sore throat? This is loquat snow pear rock sugar water. Drink it while it's hot." A completely opposite scene appeared at the scene. The staff of Two Under One Roof looked at her with envy. Some of the staff of the girl group's live stream sneered, some looked at her with contempt, and some whispered. It turns out that Xiangyi is trying to curry favor with Shi Sui in private. I really couldn't tell. Why is she pretending to be spoiled? She's just a bootlicker. Will Shi Sui even care about her? Sister Hua is right. Girls are born to be spoiled by men. How can they spoil men? Xiangyi doesn't understand women's rights at all. The next second, Shi Sui pushed the crayfish and crab pincers that she had been peeling for a long time in front of Xiangyi. "Here's your favorite spicy food. What would you like to drink? Is hot soy milk okay?" The people from Two Under One Roof didn't think much of it. He had no choice. He was used to it. It wasn't as if the two of them had only doted on each other for a day or two. On the other hand, the female group production team was shocked. Shiringdi, who was like the moon in the clouds and the stars in the sky, would personally peel greasy and spicy crayfish and crab pincers for Xiangyi? This was too unbelievable. Shan Ruohua bit her lip. She picked up the wine glass, swayed her slender waist, and walked towards Xiangyi. Why did so many people say that she was not as good as Xiangyi? Why did those brands treat her as a replacement for Xiangyi? Xiangyi refused to accept the endorsement deal, so he came to her? She wanted to prove that she was no worse than Xiangyi. "Sister E, I've heard a lot about you. Here's a toast to you." Xiangyi's doe eyes lit up. She rubbed her small hands and was a little surprised. "Really?" Shan Ruohua thought proudly in her heart, Xiangyi must be flattered. What she didn't know was that a certain little drunkard was dying of thirst. "Then I'll drink first." After Shan Ruohua said softly, she picked up the wine glass and touched her lips in front of everyone. "Xiangyi?" She looked confused. "That's it? That's it?" Chapter 935. Shan Ruohua was confused. She did not understand why Xiangyi had such a reaction. Li Jianyu and the others had a hard time holding back their laughter. TSK, the northern dialect, often teases people who drink less, saying, "Are you raising fish?" Using this logic, Shan Ruohua was rearing goldfish. As for Sister E, the drunkard, she wanted to raise whales and sharks. Shan Ruohua maintained her professional fake smile. Xiangyi could only explain, "I'm sorry, maybe our understanding of quantifiers is a little different." She imitated Shan Ruohua and took a sip of wine. Looking at the remaining half of the wine in the glass, her heart ached. "Sob, sob, sob, little sister, let's have another toast." "No, let's have a few more. Otherwise, this wine would be confiscated by Shi Sui again." Shan Ruohua's eyes revealed a trace of relief, as if she felt that Xiangyi was not hopeless. Girls don't need to be so humble at the table. Why should they drink just because someone asked them to? Not feminist at all. Wine table culture is trash to begin with. Although Xiangyi liked to drink, she agreed with the last sentence and nodded her head out of social etiquette. Shan Ruohua's desire to teach was getting stronger. "Sister E, a girl should focus on her career. She can't just focus on the kitchen. How can a girl do housework? You should let a man do it." Xiangyi was confused. "Ah, shouldn't we share the burden?" Shan Ruohua said in surprise. "How can that be? How could a girl do housework?" Look, you've been completely poisoned by the male chauvinist culture." The corners of everyone's mouths twitched, and they were speechless. Xiangyi explained in a gentle voice, "In a sense, housework is also a kind of labor. Labor is the integration of subject, object, and meaning. Labor is endowed with natural and social attributes by human beings. It is essentially equal, so I think we should share it together and not push it to one gender. Shen Ruohua. She curled her lips and said, "Forget it, I'm not going to tell you. You won't understand anyway." Everyone cursed in their hearts. Who was the one who couldn't understand? Xiangyi did not have the habit of teaching others. She smiled politely and did not say anything else. Everyone had their own way of thinking. She couldn't possibly let the whole world think the same way as her. Even if they didn't agree with him, they could choose not to comment on him. Other than using his mouth for debate, he could also choose to shut it. Shan Ruohua turned on her social mode and toasted Li Jianyu, Ruan Qing, and the others. After all, she was an A-list starlet in the entertainment industry, so everyone gave her face and drank. After a round, it was finally She Sui's turn. This was the first time Shan Ruohua had come into close contact with the legendary Best Actor. She could only feel her heart pounding. Many celebrities, including her, were as thin as paper in real life. Looking at them in real life, it was inevitable that they would feel as thin as firewood. But She Sui didn't know how to do that at all. The man's body proportions were superior. He was muscular but not exaggerated. His facial features were impeccable. It was the kind of appearance and temperament that would make people's hearts race even under the devil's angle and light. "Here's to you, Shengdi," Shen Ruohua said sweetly. She Sui said faintly, "Sorry, I've quit drinking." Everyone in the production team knew about this. Li Jianyu even secretly asked him in private if he was planning to get pregnant. At that time, She Sui smiled and did not say anything. He did not refute. Shen Ruohua said, "Aya, you're a man. How can you refuse a girl's toast?" Chapter 936. Everyone? Excuse me. Could this be the legendary, large-scale double-standard scene? She Sui raised his eyebrows, but his tone was still indifferent. "Thank you, I appreciate it." Shan Ruohua. She didn't expect She Sui to be so tactless. And in front of so many people, he had embarrassed her. Xiang Yi, who was at the side, looked at She Sui eagerly with a few words written in her eyes. "I can drink for you." She Sui directly covered the mouth of the glass, putting an end to the little bunny's attempt to drink for him. "Did you forget what you promised me?" the man asked in a low voice. Xiang Yi averted her eyes. That doesn't count. She would never admit to the unequal terms she had signed in the bedroom and bathroom. She Sui chuckled and said in a volume that only the two of them could hear, "Looks like you still don't learn your lesson." A certain little bunny trembled. Shan Ruohua saw how gentle and doting She Sui was towards Xiang Yi and felt even more indignant. She brought out a sentence that was extremely lethal at the table. "Is She Sui looking down on me?" Everyone. What kind of weird brain circuit was this? She Sui. You misunderstood, Miss Shen. There was nothing wrong with the way he phrased it. Shan Ruohua's heart was filled with a ball of fire. From netizens to brands, to She Sui in front of her, why did everyone think that Xiang Yi was better than her? She adeptly used the knowledge she had learned from the chicken soup book and mocked him. She Sui, don't tell me, you look down on women? I wonder if the online bloggers who support women's rights will criticize you if they hear that you don't even drink the wine offered to you by a girl. This accusation made everyone at the table tremble with fear. Li Jianyu boldly kicked She Sui under the table and desperately winked at him. "Drink a glass, it's just a glass of wine, what's the big deal?" However, She Sui was even more stubborn than everyone thought. "Since it's a criticism, why should I care?" She Sui spoke unhurriedly. "I respect all reasonable and legal feminist movements, and I have always believed that men and women should be equal. I admit that there are some men in this society who, after enjoying privileges and preferential treatment, attack and hurt women in turn, but this isn't a reason to overturn the entire boat with one pole. Using unreasonable to resist unreasonable, Miss Shen, do you think it's appropriate?" Shen Ruohua's mind went blank. She had been studying art since she was a child, and her results in her cultural studies were average. Her knowledge was not enough to support her clear logic and order to refute She Sui. She could only emphasize again, "But I'm a girl," Shui said calmly, "but I'm also a man. Why can a girl refuse a toast, but a man must drink a toast?" Shan Ruohua said, You're a man. You're bullying me." The next second, Shui tugged at Xiangyi's sleeve and complained, "Why is she like this?" She sounded aggrieved. "Shan Ruohua, isn't this bullying?" She felt even more aggrieved. "Shan Ruohua." This familiar and fragrant tea aroma made everyone at the little rag group feel a sense of familiarity. As expected of our human world's Longjing tea. Using magic to defeat magic. Using green tea to defeat green tea. This is the correct way to deal with it. Xiangyi's little face was serious. "Miss Shen, please don't bully our Shui. Otherwise, I'll suspect you of looking down on men and discriminating against them." Chapter 937. Everyone. Amazing. My sister E is still the best. Wasn't Shan Ruohua implying that Shui discriminated against women? Sister E directly said that she discriminated against men. This was a textbook example of giving her a taste of her own medicine. Sure enough, Shan Ruohua's pupils dilated. She couldn't take it at all. Xiangyi said casually, "Is there anything else? If not, can you please not disturb us while we eat?" Shan Ruohua screamed in disbelief. "You're chasing me away? Xiangyi, do you know who I am?" "You." Xiangyi said frankly, "To be honest, I don't know." She could criticize her, but to criticize Shui? No way. Shan Ruohua was about to vomit blood. Everyone. Amazing. Sister E is still the best. Only Xiangyi had the guts and confidence to rebuke a domestic A-list starlet like this. Although it wasn't very appropriate to say it out loud, but it really felt good. No one sympathized with Shan Ruohua at all. She kept talking about women's rights, but she didn't know that women's rights were really about equality between men and women. Instead, she blindly wanted privileges. Moreover, judging from the look in her eyes, she was clearly lusting after Shui's body. Even if Sister E agreed, they wouldn't. Shan Ruohua gritted her teeth and stomped her feet before returning to her seat. Director Ding saw that the situation wasn't right. He obsequiously asked for Wan Qing's WeChat and hurried back. Other celebrities in the entertainment industry might have some scruples, but these two really had nothing to worry about. After all, if they couldn't survive in the entertainment industry, Shui and Xiangyi could only go home to inherit billions of assets, marry into wealthy families, and live a boring life of eating, drinking, and shopping. Shan Ruohua returned to her table. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Hence, she used her alternate account to post on Weibo. "This is so annoying. What's so great about meeting a so-called model couple? Each one is more impolite than the other, hypocritical and disgusting. I really them. The man is all right, he has won a few awards, but what is the woman? Haha. She's useless except for her popularity. She owes men." She posted on Weibo in a hurry and didn't realize that she had logged into her main account to post a selfie today and didn't have time to switch it. And so, some netizens arrived at the battlefield as soon as possible. "Wow, was your account hacked?" "Ha ha ha ha, she must have forgotten to check her account number. Tsk, Shan Ruohua's goddess persona has collapsed. There are so many asterisks, how vulgar." "Ah, you're using a smurf account, why don't you just say your name?" "I'm dying of anxiety. Can anyone decipher who this model couple is?" Shan Ruohua was especially concerned about her manager. When she saw the Weibo post, she broke out in a cold sweat. "Ruohua, what are you doing?" Shan Ruohua used her chopsticks to pick up a piece of chicken breast. Chewing it, she spat it out and said impatiently, "It's tiring to maintain my figure. Can't I just have a taste?" The manager lowered her voice and said, "Hurry up and delete the Weibo post. You sent me the wrong number." Patter, Shan Ruohua's chopsticks fell onto the table. She hurriedly deleted the Weibo post, her hands trembling as she did so. How could this be? She just wanted to scold Xiangyi and Shi Sui. What was wrong with that? The internet had memories. Even though she had deleted the Weibo post, there were still netizens who kept commenting on her previous Weibo post. Besides, many netizens were tagging her. At Shanruohua, hello, open the door, please sign for your face-slapping express delivery. The National Variety Awards have just nominated Sister E, Shi Sui, and Two Under One Roof. Chapter 938. What? The National Television Program Award? Shan Ruohua's expression was no longer enough to describe her shock. It was the most authoritative television program award in the country at present. It included all television programs, news, variety shows, finance, sports, and children's programs. It was known as the Golden TV Award by the industry. It could be said that winning this award was the greatest dream of countless directors, producers, and screenwriters in the country. Moreover, this award was only given once every 3 years. Many programs did not make it in time for the award when they were popular. Hence, it was naturally difficult for them to compete with the programs that were popular back then. There were many outstanding programs that even became forgotten pearls. However, this year, Two Under One Roof was really lucky. Not only did it repeatedly set records, it also made it in time for the award ceremony. The right time, the right place, and the right people were all there. Shan Ruohua bit her lip and said, "It's just a nomination, it's not like we're really going to win an award." Didn't an unpopular program win an award before? Her manager was about to persuade her to get over it when her cell phone rang. After answering the call, her expression gradually became solemn. After hanging up, her manager took several deep breaths before saying, "Ruohua, your guest list for the Mid-Autumn Festival Gala has been cancelled." Shan Ruohua stood up abruptly. How is that possible? Everyone looked at her. Her manager hurriedly pulled her to sit down and scolded, "Don't make a fuss. Do you think everyone hasn't seen enough of you making a fool of yourself?" The atmosphere at the girl group's live stream was depressing. They were supposed to have a happy meal together, but now, there was only awkwardness. On the other hand, there was a sudden burst of cheers on the side of Two Under One Roof. "Oh my God! We've been nominated for the Golden TV Award. Oh, it's true. I saw a lot of media outlets reposting it. Best Variety Newcomer, Best Production Program, Most Popular Program, Best Innovative Program. I'm going to cry, we're too amazing." In the courtyard, the two groups of people formed a stark contrast. One group felt as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. The other group was crying and laughing at the same time, overjoyed. On the internet, Shan Ruohua was also being tagged again. "Shan Ruohua, dear, are you satisfied with the face-slapping package? Shan Ruohua, this is hilarious. Of all people to provoke, why did you provoke Sister E? Don't you know Sister E has the 100% face-slapping halo?" Shan Ruohua, you there? Xiangyi didn't get an award, but she was nominated by Golden TV in the blink of an eye. What about you? Xiangyi, who has been in the industry for so many years, hasn't won a single award? What a joke. Even Xiangyi, who has been in the industry for only a year, is a real joke. Those comments stung Shan Ruohua's eyes. What made her even more desperate was that before the dinner was over, her agent had already received several calls from brands who wanted to cancel their cooperation. Those endorsements were all rejected by Xiangyi before they came to her. But now, he had lost them one by one. Could it be that it wasn't that she couldn't compare to Xiangyi, but that she didn't even have the qualifications to be compared to Xiangyi? "Come, let's get drunk tonight." After Li Jianyu finished shouting, he immediately added, "If you can't drink, you can drink juice or milk. No matter if you're a man or a woman, don't force yourself. And you're not allowed to persuade others to drink." The staff felt warm in their hearts. Following such a director, really, he was so lucky. The female group really couldn't eat anymore. They went over to settle the bill and tried to get the boss to give them a discount. The boss said calmly, "I'm sorry, our shop doesn't accept discounts." With that said, He waved his hand and gave a bunch of dishes and drinks to the group for free. Everyone eat and drink well. It's not enough to shout. The female group was speechless. Chapter 939. Seeing that they had no intention of paying, the boss raised his eyebrows. What's the matter? Do you want me to tip more? Everyone in the female group was speechless. Someone said indignantly, Boss, you're too much of a double standard. You're giving them food, fruit platters, and drinks. Not only are we not giving them anything, we can't even give them a discount. Another person chimed in, Exactly. Boss, you have to be honest when opening a restaurant. The boss laughed in exasperation. Everyone, my restaurant may be small, but the prices are clearly marked. I won't stop you even if you call the consumers to complain. Seeing how firm the boss was, the two people didn't dare to say anything. The group of people paid and left the private restaurant with their tails between their legs. As soon as they left, the boss looked righteous, but he was thinking to himself, Sob, they're finally gone. I can finally give Kiki and May more expensive and better food and drinks. Next, all kinds of expensive ingredients were served. There were lobsters, matsutake mushrooms, imported ham, top-grade beef. Li Jianyu said blankly, Boss, did you serve the wrong dishes? We didn't order these. The boss smiled and said, It's a gift, it's all a gift. Li Jianyu said faintly, The last time I came, you wouldn't even give me 3 yuan for the change. The boss said righteously, How can that be the same? You're a guest, but Sister E is my stepfamily. Everyone was speechless. Boss, you're going a little overboard by forcing her to acknowledge you as her relative. Xiangyi didn't refuse the boss's kindness in front of him. She smiled happily, but when it came time to pay the bill, she deliberately gave him a little more. After the production team of Two Under One Roof left, everyone in the private restaurant had tears in their eyes. Sister E is so nice. This little girl is really not bad. Our kid's EQ is too high. That night, countless people tossed and turned restlessly, unable to fall asleep. Some people were not used to not having the company of Little Pie, some were happy that Little Pie had won a big prize, while others, it was indescribable. The next day, the tutu landed at the manor in the afternoon. Xiangyi was drowsy. Shi Sui wrapped her in a small blanket and carried her onto the plane. They took a long nap on the plane. When they opened their eyes again, they had already set foot on the land of B City. Because of the time difference, it was still daytime here. Xiangyi had slept for almost an entire day and was now full of energy. Coincidentally, Jiang Jojo and Su Tumi were also in B City, so the three of them hit it off and happily went shopping together. The purchasing power of women was strong. The purchasing power of 3 women could only be described as shocking. Shi Sui accompanied her all the way like a gentleman. He paid the bill with his card and even took the initiative to carry her bag. He bought a bunch of useful and useless things and even drank afternoon tea to replenish his energy. At that time, Shi Sui asked, Are you leaving? The 3 girls looked at him with puzzled eyes. What are you talking about? Yeah, I just started shopping. Shi Sui. Girls are indeed amazing creatures. They can't run 800 meters but they can walk 20,000 steps when shopping. Su Tumi teased, Isn't that right, Shi Sui? Haven't you gone shopping with girls before? Jiang Jojo pursed her lips and said, How is that possible? You're clearly very familiar with this business. Shi Sui said with a smile, If it's not considered acting, this is really the first time. Su Tumi and Jiang Jojo looked at each other and smiled sinisterly. Then let's test you. What size clothes and shoes does Sister E wear? Chapter 940. The two of them didn't have much hope for Shi Sui. After all, it was normal for men not to remember. They just wanted to tease Shi Sui. To their surprise, Shi Sui really revealed her size accurately. The clothes are XS or S, and the shoes are 35.5 or 36. Jiang Jojo was speechless. Su Tumi was speechless too. The two of them looked at Xiangyi in unison. Sister E, you gave him a hint, didn't you? Yes, Sister E, you must have cheated. Xiangyi shrugged helplessly. I really didn't, we didn't even make eye contact just now. So, Shi Sui really knows Xiangyi's size. Zhang Jojo humphed. Su Tumi secretly tightened her grip on the hem of her skirt. Ah, I've hit it, I've hit it. It's another day of excessive sugar. Next, Zhang Jojo and Su Tumi asked a lot of questions, some of which even Xiangyi found tricky. However, Shi Sui actually answered all of them fluently. He even knew that she preferred dried beans over fried ones. After asking for a long time, Zhang Jojo and Su Tumi's throats were dry and they drank several cups of fruit tea. Su Tumi was an artiste herself and she liked to gossip too. She suddenly thought of something and exclaimed in surprise. Hasn't your show only been live-streamed for 2 months? But it's impossible for you to know so much in just 2 months. Shi Sui, have you been harboring designs on Sister E since a long time ago? Zhang Jojo kicked her gently under the table and Su Tumi hurriedly changed her words. It was a slip of the tongue. Silly. What I wanted to say was that I'm secretly in love with her. No, I mean deeply in love with her. Shi Sui smiled and didn't say anything. Zhang Jojo secretly rolled her eyes. Indeed, that dog of a man has been coveting Sister E for a long time. Su Tumi covered her mouth excitedly. Mom. This couple is so real, Mom. Turns out it wasn't love at first sight, it was premeditated for a long time. She wanted to continue asking, but Shi Sui changed the subject calmly. There's a Pavilion B in this mall. Do you want to take a look? Su Tumi was instantly distracted. Sure. I just looked at the GPS. There are several super beautiful shops in Hall B. Sister E, you can take your pick. Xiangyi thought she was talking about gowns, but she didn't expect that when she went there, she found that those shops were actually selling wedding dresses. Su Tumi chuckled and said, Am I right? Isn't it beautiful? Buying this. Isn't it a little too early? Xiangyi asked uncertainly. Ayaya, why don't you try it on? I haven't seen Sister E in a wedding dress before. Xiangyi hesitated for a moment before being pulled into the store by Su Tumi. Zhang Jojo stomped her feet and followed him in. A moment later, the shop assistant pulled open the white curtain of the fitting room. A young girl in a wedding dress entered everyone's eyes. The off-shoulder design accentuated the girl's slender shoulders and swan-like neck. Her collarbone was exquisite, and her skin was milky white with a hint of pink. She bit her lower lip uneasily and asked, Is it very strange? Su Tumi and Zhang Jojo, who were sitting on the 2-seater sofa, were already dumbfounded. Sister, if you don't go back now, there won't be a princess in Disneyland anymore. Oh my God, sister, which fairy tale book didn't make you come out of? Shi Sui, who was flipping through a magazine on the single-seater sofa, had a look of amazement in her eyes. Ever since Xiangyi appeared, she hadn't flipped back a single page of the magazine. Bunny in a wedding dress. Why is she so beautiful? Su Tumi egged him on. Shi Sui, why don't you try on some men's clothing? The design of this wedding dress is actually quite casual. You can totally wear it to the award ceremony. Chapter 941. If the fans of the untimely couple heard her words, they would definitely call her an expert. Sister, you must be the #1 dating expert. Wearing a wedding gown to the award ceremony. Just the thought of it makes me feel so sweet. Zhang Jojo wanted to retort, but she couldn't bring herself to say anything. Although she felt that Shi Sui was too much of a bitch and she thought that her sister deserved better, she was obsessed with looks too. She thought about the scene of Shi Sui wearing a black suit and Xiangyi wearing a white wedding gown as they walked down the red carpet hand in hand. Damn. Wear it for me. Xiangyi said, Huh? That's not very appropriate. The young girl looked at Shi Sui. She felt that since Shi Sui usually kept a low profile, she probably wouldn't do something so ostentatious. okay. Sure Sui put down the magazine, adjusted her clothes, and said, I'll go try it on now. Xiangyi was speechless. Su Tumi exclaimed, Sister, hurry up and try something else. Zhang Jojo said reluctantly, Then I'll take a photo of the two of you later. You can see which one looks the best. If there was a first set, there would be a second one, a third one. Xiangyi tried on more than 10 wedding gowns and she felt that she had never been so exhausted before. Even when she was catching up on sleep with Sure Sui, she didn't feel so tired. Sure Sui was very patient and cooperated to try on more than 10 suits. In the end, Su Tumi and Zhang Jojo both chose the same set. It was a black suit for men. It was clean and neat without any extra design, but it had high requirements for the figure. Sure Sui was completely like a clothes hanger. He was tall, had long legs, broad shoulders, and a narrow waist. Coupled with his handsome face, he looked even better than a supermodel. The female wedding gown didn't have an exaggerated tail and just reached Xiangyi's ankles. The hem of the dress was fluffy and girlish. Compared to a wedding gown, it was more like a gown for a banquet. The shop assistant was grinning from ear to ear. While the two of them were trying on the clothes, countless customers entered the store and bought the same gown. Even Su Tumi, who had always been known as a little expert in planting grass, couldn't help but sigh with emotion. The two of them are simply walking planters. Zhang Jojo said. Even I want to buy it, let alone passers-by. She created a small group and sent the beautiful photos she had taken earlier to the group. The few of them had a good relationship with Nan, and they all knew that Nan and Si Chuanbai were close, so they pulled the two managers into the group. Nan was the first to come out and flatter him. He sent more than 10 voice messages in a row. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Woo woo, I've been killed by my darling's beauty. Year XX, 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 the day when you obediently wear a little skirt and make the world fall for you with your beauty. Si Chuanbai, who was beside him, was holding a black notebook and using a gold fountain pen to record Nan's flattery. Yes, there was no end to learning. Who was he going to praise after learning such valuable knowledge? Was there a need to ask? Of course, it was to praise Sister Yi. Was Sure Sui worthy? Xiangyi felt that one of the group photos looked quite good, so she updated her Weibo account. Xiangyi V. Oh, degree asterisk. Oh, I'm so hot. After a few minutes, she went to read the comments, only to be filled with question marks. Yo? Baby, you guys went abroad to get your marriage certificate? Have you guys heard? Why did I hear from my colleague that Sure Sui's sister Yi is married? Ha, you guys are too slow. Let me tell you newbies, the two of them quarreled and Xiangyi ran away with the ball. Sure Sui is wooing his wife. Xiangyi? What? Where did you guys get the script? Chapter 942. Take wedding photos? Get a marriage certificate? Get married? Run with the ball? How can you imagine so much content from an ordinary photo? All netizens these days are novelists, right? Xiangyi was still in a daze when Nan called. After she picked up, she screamed. Oh, Sister Yi. The bridal gown brand that you two are wearing has invited you and Sure Sui to endorse it. It's the most luxurious bridal gown brand in the world. Si Chuanbai, who was beside him, said in a calm and serious voice. The brand sponsor said that if you don't want to endorse it, a short-term business cooperation is fine, or you can be the brand's best friend or brand ambassador. Do you think that's okay? Su Tumi muttered to herself, is this what it means to be a top-tier celebrity? I can get an endorsement just by trying on clothes? Sob, it turns out that I'm such a noob. Zhang Jojo patted her shoulder sympathetically and said, Sister, don't cry. Look on the bright side, we can at least wear bridesmaid gowns. Su Tumi cheered up and exclaimed, I can do it again. Xiangyi and Sure Sui discussed for a while and finally turned down the endorsement. Nan lamented, Oh my God, can't you guys consider it again? I'm so heartbroken. His family has a high status in the luxury goods industry and the endorsement fee is also very high. Xiangyi said gently, both of us already have luxury brand endorsements, it's not appropriate for us to take on another one. Besides, we have to consider our fans too. The previous brand has a wider audience and a wider product line. This brand only has bridal gowns and many people may not need them. If we buy it just because we like it, I don't think it's appropriate. Nan sighed and said, "Ah, good girl. Good girl, she's so gentle." Not all of them, but there were indeed some artists in the entertainment industry who wouldn't hesitate to earn money from their fans. It was really rare for people like Xiangyi and She Sui to be so considerate. Besides, if we accept the endorsement, we'll have to wear their gowns at the wedding. My third brother has already begun to prepare a wedding gown for me. If I don't wear it, he'll definitely be sad, Xiangyi explained. Nan was speechless. Okay, sorry to disturb you. Her own brother is making a wedding dress or something. Isn't this too doting? Alright, I'll handle it. Si Chuanbai's tone was calm, as if he didn't care that the two of them had missed out on this endorsement deal. After hanging up, Nan asked curiously, "Don't you care about the money?" "At least tens of millions." Si Chuanbai adjusted his glasses. "It's not good to take on too many endorsements, but the most important reason is... Have you forgotten that they still have family assets to inherit?" Nan seemed to wake up from a dream. 6 days later. Tutu was stuffed with a lot of things. In addition to Xiangyi's clothes, bags, shoes, kitchen utensils and so on, there were also various gifts for the Xiang family. In the past 6 days, the brand of wedding dresses that She Sui and Xiangyi had tried on became extremely popular. The brand was already inflated to begin with, but now, it was even sweeter. They increased the price every day and were criticized by countless people. The fans were all glad that the two of them didn't accept the endorsement. Otherwise, who knew how many haters he would attract? In addition, the focus of public opinion was all about the Golden TV Awards. Even though there were no more live broadcasts, She Sui and Xiangyi were still very popular. In the small and shabby live broadcast room, there were hundreds of thousands of people hanging up all year round. It was as if they were looking forward to the day when the blackened screen would come back to life. However, in order to increase their chances of winning, the other shows that were also selected began all kinds of tricks. Chapter 943. For example, they would release all kinds of scandals that were fabricated out of thin air, or step on the minor characters while boasting about themselves, or deliberately flatter the minor characters in an attempt to kill them. In short, the award ceremony had yet to begin and the schemes had already been going on for a few rounds. Li Jianyu was so angry that he argued with the netizens online every day. On the eve of the awards night, there had already been subtle changes in the public opinion on the internet. Although many people felt that the minor characters could win an award, the other shows were not bad either. Perhaps, the other shows would become dark horses. At 10 p.m., when the traffic on Weibo was at its peak, a well-known paparazzi marketing account broke the news frowny face trailer. There will be a big melon tomorrow about 2 top celebrities, the kind that can make Weibo collapse. In an instant, the entire internet exploded. The netizens were so excited that they started discussing under this Weibo post. What the heck? Top celebrities? There aren't many who can be considered top celebrities in the industry, right? What? Are YZZ and SJ together? Or did XYS and WKN get divorced? Help, don't abbreviate at a time like this, okay? I'm so anxious that I can't eat anything. Could it be SS and XY? What kind of melon can they have? The award ceremony is tomorrow. While the netizens were discussing fervently, some fake reviewers appeared and began to lead the discussion. Well, I heard that the two of them did it. My friend's second uncle's niece's best friend works at Tomato Entertainment. No, that's all fake news. The two of them actually did it. That's illegal in our country. I think the two of them will definitely be banned tomorrow. Even if the Golden TV Awards are given to them, it'll probably be a one-day award. Someone on the Melon forum has already revealed that the child is already 3 years old. Xiangyi got together with SJ at the age of 18 and can't get married at that age. This melon is very credible. I bet it'll definitely be on the hot search list tomorrow. In the end, in the eyes of the passers-by, it became a mixture of truth and falsehood. It didn't seem very reliable. Shi Sui and Xiangyi were both in good looks and mental state. However, the possibility of having a baby was real. There were also people who came up with stories about the two of them, such as, officially announced with the top movie emperor, after running with the ball, I became his white moonlight. Damn, Zai Zai's mother became famous in the entertainment circle because of her son. After 3 years of loving a top movie artist, I also became a top movie artist. Xiangyi saw Anan's phone by chance and followed him for a while. She felt as if she had been baptized. These people's imaginations are too rich. Xiangyi suddenly felt that the world she had been to were not as bizarre as the stories made up by the netizens. Sure enough, art comes from life. Anan laughed so hard that his stomach hurt. My goodness, this is the funniest. You don't even know your horoscope and you can even divine your child's fortune. Xiangyi, there's also this one. It says that you and Shi Yingdi don't want to have children because Shi Yingdi can't do it. TSK, this comment has over 50,000 likes and thousands of replies. Xiangyi, she glanced at it and found that there were other netizens replying to the comment. Hashtag Shi Sui can't do it. Hashtag, delete it, let me send a dog emoji. Are you also a Shi Sui anti-fan? What a coincidence, I'm shaking hands too. Oh. Lend me your phone. Xiangyi took the phone from Anan and replied with a blushing face, I'm sorry. He can do it. Chapter 944. Anan was flabbergasted. Oh my god, what am I seeing? After Xiangyi used Anan's alternate account to reply, she was immediately rebuked by the netizens. No. Are you really an anti-fan? No. If I say no, it means no. Haha, you're not Xiangyi, how would you know? Xiangyi was speechless. Hey, who's the anti-fan here? With mixed feelings, she returned the phone to Anan. Anan was still immersed in the public display of affection brought about by the words, he can do it. Thinking that he was still single, he muttered to himself, it's so hard for me, Xiangyi said. It's hard for me too. The two looked at each other and sighed in unison. The next day, early in the morning, the Golden TV Awards Committee held a meeting to discuss the news on the internet last night. The award had already been decided, but now, there were differences in opinion among the judges. One faction thought, I don't think this award should be given to Shi Sui, Xiangyi, and two under one roof. They're like ticking time bombs now. If they really do something illegal and get banned, wouldn't our award become a joke? Another faction thought, let's not talk about the possibility that someone is deliberately trying to stir things up. The original intention of the National Television Program Awards was to select popular programs, hosts, and guests that the public likes. If we forget our original intention, then I don't think there's a need for us to continue giving out awards. Of course, there were also those who tried to mediate the situation, commonly known as the peacemakers. They were also trying their best to participate in the conversation. Hey, calm down, calm down. Have a bowl of mung bean soup. Actually, I think it's fine if we don't give out the award. You all have your own reasons. If you ask me, why don't we put it on hold and see what the marketing account is going to reveal? The group of people discussed from morning to evening, but there was still no conclusion. At this point, there was only 1.5 hours left before the award ceremony. Nanqing Arts Center. The venue of the Golden TV Awards, which was held once every 3 years, was chosen to be at the Arts Center. At this time, the nearby roads were already under traffic control, and the venue was heavily guarded. At the entrance, the red carpet stretched all the way. There were media reporters waiting on both sides, as well as fans who had managed to get tickets by relying on their speed. Several photographers and drones hovering in the air were on standby. The two red carpet hosts were ready and waiting for the director's instructions to start the live broadcast. The voice of the chief dispatcher spread to every staff member on the scene through the headset and walkie-talkie. Counting down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the live stream begin. The two hosts revealed professional smiles. Hello, dear viewers of Xingchen Live. This is the award ceremony of the National Television Program Awards. Welcome. Tonight, the stars are shining brightly. The hosts, directors, and the main creative team of the TV show that everyone is looking forward to have arrived. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most in front of the screen? Which show are you looking forward to the most? In the bullet screen, although there were also the names of other programs, the one that appeared the most frequently and had the most comments was undoubtedly the following frowny face 2 Under One Roof. The directors of the various variety shows were all watching the live broadcast on their phones. At this time, their hearts were filled with worry. Our fake reviewers wouldn't have been bought for nothing, right? Chapter 945. For the Golden TV Awards this time, the other programs didn't have much of a competitive relationship with Two Under One Roof. On the contrary, the other variety shows all saw Two Under One Roof as their biggest enemy. There were only a few awards for variety shows. As long as Two Under One Roof didn't win an award, they might be able to win an award. Therefore, in the face of common interests, these variety shows chose to band together and get rid of their strongest opponent first. In the past 2 days, they had spent money to hire fake reviewers to influence the public opinion on the internet. They had also spent a lot of money to buy trending searches in order to expand their influence. They originally thought that the effect would be significant, but they didn't expect that as soon as the live stream began, the comments were all about Two Under One Roof. That was very annoying. Don't worry, God of Cookery was really ruthless yesterday. They directly created a time bomb. The judges of the Golden TV Awards definitely don't want to cause trouble. To be on the safe side, they definitely won't review Two Under One Roof! The assistant director of a certain variety show lowered his voice and whispered to the director. The director said, "I hope so. For some reason, he had a feeling that the show would fail. I hope nothing will happen." After the host warmed up the atmosphere, it was time for the red carpet segment that the audience was looking forward to. The first to walk the red carpet were the top programs of the major satellite TV channels, such as news, technology, finance, folk arts, children's entertainment. In the era where satellite TV programs were declining, the faces of these people were undoubtedly unfamiliar to the audience. After that, it was time for online programs, including treasure appraisal, documentaries, interview programs, talk shows, live streams, and so on. Be it the guests or the directors, the audience was obviously familiar with these programs, and the pop-up comment section also became lively. Wow, Teacher Meng is already in her 60s, but she's still so energetic. Ah, Cece is so good-looking. Why isn't she fat at all after being a foodie for so long? I'm burning with anxiety. When is Little Broken going to come out? Does anyone know the exact time? She has already eaten 2 bags of melon seeds. Amidst the anticipation of the audience, several low-key black commercial vehicles stopped at the end of the red carpet. The first to get out of the car was Lee Jianyu, who was wearing a British-style suit. He looked completely different from his usual short-sleeved shirt, underpants, and slippers. Everyone in the live stream was spamming, "Handsome, who are you?" Wow. He opened the car door like a gentleman and extended his hand to Ruan Qing. Ruan Qing was wearing a red dress today. The tailored dress accentuated her slender figure, and her red lips made her look valiant and domineering. Oh my God, Ruan Qing's looks and temperament are killing me. The planner, scriptwriter, cameraman, lighting technician, sound engineer, and stage supervisor got out of the car one after another. Other variety shows would not have so many staff members. But Lee Jianyu felt that this show was created by everyone together. If the conditions allowed, of course they should send as many people as they could. After winning the prize, everyone could share it. Even if they didn't win the award, they could still cry together and beg Sister E to make more delicious food. Hee hee, hee hee hee. Lee Jianyu couldn't help but giggle. Ruan Qing nudged him with her elbow. Hold my arm. What she meant was for Lee Jianyu to bend his arm so that she could hold it. Ruan Qing felt that since the two of them were so familiar with each other, they should be able to read each other's minds even if the subject was omitted. The next second, Li Jianyu happily took Ruan Qing's arm and leaned on her shoulder like a big bird, smiling foolishly at the camera. Chapter 946. Ruan Qing was speechless. The audience was speechless. Huh? Something seems to be wrong. I can't take it anymore, I'm dying of laughter because of my son. Director Li, please stop being a director. Debut as a comedian. Li Jianyu had yet to realize what the problem was. He chuckled and said, I've always been the one filming others. This is the first time so many people are filming me. It's quite glaring. Ruan Qing burst into laughter. She brushed her hair with one hand, exuding an alluring charm. Yeah, that's right. What if I find a silly boyfriend? I can only spoil him. The door of the last car was opened. The cameramen and drones swarmed over and began filming from all angles. On the screen, a pair of shiny black leather shoes appeared, followed by long slender legs wrapped in trousers. Further up, there was a tailored black suit, a snow-white shirt, and a dark patterned tie meticulously tied. The only color was the budding pink rose in his chest pocket. The live stream instantly exploded. Ah, Shi Sui. It's Shi Sui. He's finally here. Is it a pink rose? Oh my God, the pink rose's words are an oath of love that symbolizes an eternal commitment to one's lover. It's so sweet right off the bat. Who can resist it? After Shi Sui got out of the car, he held Xiangyi's hand and gently helped her out of the car. Even though the little bunny was wearing safety pants, he still paid attention to tidying the hem of her dress. Xiangyi was wearing the white dress that she had picked out the other day. The style and cut were very simple, but since it was a wedding dress brand, the details were particularly exquisite. There was a lace design on the sleeves, and the hem of the dress was covered with layers of white gauze, which was decorated with hand-sewn feathers and fine diamonds. Under the refraction of the magnesium lights, it was dazzling and eye-catching. The girl's slender and fair wrist was tied with a rustic ribbon and a white rose. Unsurprisingly, from the moment Xiangyi appeared, the comments in the live stream were so dense that they blocked the entire screen. Sister E! Sister E! Screaming at the top of my lungs. Xiangyi in a dress is so cute. Zai Zai is truly the most beautiful person in history. Details. They were all details. Sister E was wearing a wrist flower. Usually, only the bride would wear it on the wedding day. I don't care if today is the award ceremony or not. In my heart, today is Shi Sui's sister Yi's wedding. White roses flower language. Beautiful first love. This was his response to Shi Sui's fan, Rose. When I cry, it's the sweetest. No rebuttal is accepted. The enthusiasm of the fans could be felt even through the cold electronic screen. The other variety show directors felt the same way. This was the result of hiring fake reviewers to slander two under one roof. If they hadn't hired fake reviewers, they would probably be nothing more than sidekicks now. However, it was hard to say now. Small flaws. Just listening to it sounds like a bad sign. Perhaps today would really become a lousy variety show that was nothing. Meanwhile, the meeting of the judges was not over yet. There was a stalemate as neither side gave in. At this moment, someone exclaimed, "That blogger has posted a trailer again." Everyone took out their cell phones and saw that the blogger had updated a new Weibo post. Paparazzi number 1V, 8 o'clock, be there or be square. The announcement of the variety show awards happened to be around 8 o'clock. The discussion of the meeting returned to the original point. Should we award or not? Chapter 947. If they did, what if the paparazzi exposed Shi Sui and Xiangyi's scandals? However, if they didn't, they felt that they would be letting Shi Sui and Xiangyi down. In the conference room, the judges were extremely anxious until a certain director who was drinking mung bean soup slowly said, "Why don't we just move the variety show awards to after 8 o'clock? Everyone was speechless. Damn, is that even possible? However, it was really a good idea. If the scandals that were exposed were harmless, the award would definitely be given. If the scandals were exposed, they would immediately switch to another show. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became much more relaxed. Dear viewers, this is the venue for the National Television Program Awards ceremony. Let's turn the camera to the hosts of tonight's ceremony. The two live hosts completed their task and the camera then switched to the stage. The stage was decorated magnificently and the bright lights were shining. The four hosts were all dressed in suits or gowns and smiled at the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, guests present, fans present, as well as friends watching the live broadcast in front of your screens, how do you do? It's another summer. The hosts gave a cameo speech. The executive director probably knew that the live broadcast audience didn't like to hear such things, so he switched the camera back and forth and gave a lot of close-up shots of the popular hosts, directors, and artists. In terms of popularity, variety shows were obviously more popular. Among the variety shows, Two Under One Roof was naturally the most popular. When the camera panned across several other variety shows, there were also a lot of bullet screen comments, but when the camera fell on the crew of Two Under One Roof, the screen was flooded with bullet screen comments. The popularity of the show were simply terrifying. In the dispatch room, the executive director immediately gave Two Under One Roof a lot of screen time. They invited the famous boy group C7 for the opening performance. After the host announced the acts, the on-site staff began to prepare the stage props. Taking advantage of this gap, Xiangyi whispered to Shi Sui, "If only we brought Xiao Naofu along. It's so fond of crowds, it would definitely be very happy." However, Li Jianyu and Ruan Qing only thought that she had a second personality and that Xiao Naofu was just an ordinary kitten. After some consideration, they decided not to bring Xiao Naofu along. Xiangyi felt a little regretful and asked Xiao Naofu for its opinion, but it also said that it didn't want to come. However, Shi Sui chuckled softly and patted the pocket of his suit. Swish! A fluffy and white cat head popped out. The kitten raised its two pointy ears and meowed at Xiangyi. "It's cute. Hee hee, stupid woman, this hoo-hoo and that dog man teamed up to trick you." Xiangyi was surprised and happy. She whispered, "Xiao Naofu." The live stream was boiling with excitement. "Oh, Green Tea Meow is here too. That's great. A family should be together. If only little Shiji were here. It's so strange, the official Weibo account hasn't posted any updates about little Shiji. Could it be that little Shiji is sick? Oh my god, I'm too easily moved to tears. As soon as Xiao Naofu appeared, my tears came out. Wah, Shi Sui, you can do it. Good luck, Sister E. Let's do our best too." When the director of another variety show next door saw Xiao Naofu appear, his eyes immediately lit up. The opportunity to embarrass Two Under One Roof has come. This is like giving me a pillow when I'm sleepy. Chapter 948. He covered his mouth with his hand and coughed twice. Taking advantage of the change in camera angle, he turned his head and said with a smile, "Xiao Naofu is so good-looking. I've never seen such a cute kitten before. Can you rub it for me?" He thought that since he was a famous director in the variety industry, and Shi Sui might have to deal with him if she continued to take on variety shows in the future, she would at least give him some face. Unexpectedly, Shi Sui smiled and said, "No." The director was speechless. Unwilling to give up, he faked a smile and said, "Oh, Xiao Naofu, come let uncle rub your head." When his hand was still a dozen centimeters away from Xiao Naofu's head, the kitten let out a fierce howl. One of the many cheats that Little White Tiger had given it, Tiger's Roar, had taken effect. The director trembled. For some reason, he felt that the cute kitten in front of him was scarier than a tiger. Coincidentally, the biased camera cut over again. While filming Shi Sui and Xiang Yi, it also captured the scene of the director shivering. Some netizens were puzzled. What's going on? Does Director Yen of this outdoor survival variety show have Parkinson's disease? Director Yen refused to give up. After the fear in his heart dissipated, he continued, "A cat is a cat after all. It's different from a dog. A dog knows how to guard the house, but what does a cat know? Raising a cat, no matter how much you raise it, it will never mature." Shi Sui smiled but didn't say anything. "It seems that Shi Ingdi agrees with my point of view." Director Yen looked so ordinary, but he was so confident. "How can we let a cat come to such a grand occasion? What if it scratches someone? They'll have to get a rabies vaccine. Shi Ingdi, you're the main character tonight. It's not convenient for you to go out. How about I send this cat away for you?" Director Yen pretended to hug the cat, but Xiao Naofu scratched him fiercely. A bloody mark appeared on the back of his hand. Director Yen yelled, "Oh, why is your cat scratching people? It's like a stray cat. Shi Ingdi, why did you bring a beast here? If the netizens see this, it'll be embarrassing." He deliberately raised his voice, trying to attract the camera's attention, but when he turned his head, he found the camera was focused on them from start to finish. "Director Yen? Where? How could there be fixed guests at such a big event?" His face suddenly turned pale as he realized that his actions had been witnessed by the netizens. "I'm confused. Is this Director Yen a drama queen? I'm full of question marks. You were the one who provoked Xiao Naofu first, okay? What bad intentions does the kitten have? It just didn't want the strange and greasy uncle to touch it. It was just self-defense, but it turned right and wrong into a stray cat. Our axe is really pitiful." Director Yen never expected that he would end up being the funniest clown in the industry. He wanted to slander and frame Xiao Naofu, thereby causing netizens to be dissatisfied with Shi Sui, Xiangyi, and even Two Under One Roof. He wanted to cry but had no tears. He was so regretful that his intestines had turned green. At this moment, the opening dance performance began. The youngsters from C7 had brought him a perfect stage. They were the center of attention. At the end of the performance, the host smiled and asked, "Thank you to C7 for bringing us such a wonderful performance. How do you feel now?" Jiang Chen took the microphone. Gazing at Xiang Yi, who was in the audience, he said sincerely, "At this moment, I want to thank my sister the most." Chapter 949. Host. She was dumbfounded but still maintained her standard smile. The next second, she saw the delicate-looking teenager bow towards a certain direction below the stage. "Sister Xiangyi, thank you. You're the one who made me reborn." Immediately, a teammate snatched the microphone from him. "You're breaking the rules. We agreed to thank her together." "No, I have to thank my sister Xiangyi too." The others followed suit, and for a moment, the entire venue echoed with the words, "Thank you, my sister Xiangyi." There was a burst of good-natured laughter, and the camera cut to a close-up of Xiangyi. The girl's eyebrows curved into crescents as she waved at the teenagers on the stage. The C7 boys were extremely excited. They were truly grateful to Xiangyi. Without Xiangyi, there would not be today's C7. It was Xiangyi who reignited their group spirit and gave them a stage again. Before stepping off the stage, the boys shouted the slogan that they had rehearsed countless times in unison and loud. "Come on, sister. You'll definitely win an award." The young and lively teenagers, although still very childish, were particularly moving. Some of the audience couldn't help but tear up. The C7 boys are too good. Those who call them ungrateful should shut up. They really remember how good Xiangyi is. Then, it was time for the news program awards. After several awards were given, another guest came on stage to perform. This time, it was Zhou Yan, who was known as the legendary singer in the industry. To everyone's surprise, the piano accompaniment was Su Randong. One of them was wearing a wine-red sequin suit and was the focus of the crowd as usual. The other was wearing a low-key gray suit and sat quietly in front of the piano. His expression was indifferent, but when his eyes met Zhou Yan's, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. The melodious sound of the piano and the clear voice produced a magical chemical effect. The netizens exclaimed, "What kind of godly collaboration is this?" Similarly, when the two were interviewed by the host, they said similar words to the C7 boys. "Thank you, Brother E, for introducing us to the doctor. My ears have recovered a lot, and Dong Dong is in great condition too," Su Rendong whispered. "Don't call me Dong Dong." Zhou Yen made a face at him, as if time had not left any traces on his character, and he was still that childish brat. Su Rendong shook his head helplessly. This interaction became a must-have for fans to edit their fan videos. And then, the guests were the famous director Yen, the veteran actress Yin Zhengxue, Mama Yin, the best actress Zhong Yi, the artist Tian Ji, the starlet Su Tumi, and so on. Some were the guest presenters, while others were the guest performers. Everyone expressed their gratitude to Xiong Yi. In the live stream, "Ha ha ha ha, is Sister Yi's commendation ceremony tonight? Xiong Yi is really a little princess that everyone dotes on. Everyone is actually helping her fight against public opinion. That number one paparazzi is really annoying. Woo woo, everyone is fine. They're probably worried that the judges won't give Sister Yi, Shengdi, and the others an award because of the leak. Sigh, I hope the results won't be affected." It was close to 8 o'clock, but the variety show awards had yet to be presented. Everyone immediately understood that the program team had postponed it. However, everyone was also worried that the number one paparazzi would not keep his promise and delay the release of the leak. In the blink of an eye, it was 8 o'clock sharp. The number one paparazzi stuck on the dot and updated his big news. Just as he had predicted, the Weibo server was paralyzed in just a few minutes. Chapter 950. Paparazzi Number 1v. A certain couple of top stars in a variety show who fell in love and got engaged are suspected to be having sex overseas. This boy and girl are their children. Along with the Weibo post, there were 2 photos of the cute babies. The netizens were stunned. These 2 little buns actually looked like She Sui and Xiong Yi. In the photo, there was a boy and a girl. The girl was standing, holding a lollipop that was bigger than her face, while the boy was sitting on the ground. His height couldn't be seen clearly, but because he was pale and thin, he looked about the same age as the girl. Hence, the netizens went crazy. "Oh no, there's too much to say. Ah, so it's a boy and a girl twins. CP fans still have the cheek to say that? Sex is illegal. This little girl looks like she's 4 or 5 years old. At that time, Xiong Yi was still underage, right? She Sui got together with her? Haha, I knew it. Variety shows have scripts. A bunch of people keep criticizing me. Do you really believe in love at first sight? Then, they slowly developed feelings for each other on the show? Anyway, I don't believe it. The scriptwriter must have written the script in advance, and the 2 of them acted according to the script. They must have been together long ago. Maybe She Sui even violated an underage girl. I suggest a strict investigation. If you don't stand upright, you'll lose your virtue. Do things with talent and do things with virtue. How can we let such an artist continue to earn our money? Do you think we're leaks?" The netizens' reactions were like a prairie fire, burning wantonly. Countless people saw the photo and immediately started criticizing. The judges of the Golden TV Awards immediately started voting. Those who agree to the award, write 1 on the slip of paper. Those who disagree, write 2 on the slip of paper. If it's blank, it'll be considered a waiver. Soon, the results of the voting were out. 2 abstained, 6 disagreed, and 13 agreed. The conference room was silent, like the calm before a storm. Then, "Let's do it this way. Hurry up and inform everyone." The next second, a judge stood up. "Wait a minute. The tables have turned." "What tables?" "It's a foregone conclusion. Don't say anything else." "Why? Are they going to explain that the child came out of Xiong Yi's stomach? Wouldn't that be even more ridiculous? A 21-year-old girl giving birth to a 4 or 5-year-old child, which involves minors, is even worse." "Bullshit. What do you mean by having children or not? That's definitely not She Sui and Xiangyi's child. Do you think I'm wrong just because you say so? Wasn't the photo verified by a professional? The judge said bitterly, that's right. The photos are real. However, the two children in the photo were She Sui and Xiangyi's childhood photos. It's a picture of them when they were young. The judges were speechless. Next up is the Best Creative Variety Award, and the winner is Two Under One Roof. Congratulations! The guest presenter finished his speech and took the initiative to clap. Below the stage, the members of the small show program team were still quite calm. The value of this award wasn't too high. The most popular variety show and the most popular variety show guest were the highlight. Li Jianyu went on stage to receive the award. He had prepared a script in advance, so he didn't seem to be nervous. He even made a few jokes. Then, there were a few trivial awards, and then, most popular variety show. The drumbeats were rapid and stirred people's hearts. Congratulations to Two Under One Roof. There was a wave of applause. Li Jianyu, who was still calm and composed just now, was stunned on the spot. Chapter 951. I've won an award? There was a lot of commotion around him. His mind, however, was completely blank. He could only feel his heartbeat pounding non-stop. His heart was about to jump out of his chest. Congratulations! Xiangyi's soft and smiling voice reached Li Jianyu's ears, and he suddenly came back to his senses. Wah! Li Jianyu howled loudly. It could be said that a fierce man was shedding tears. The camera panned over and recorded the scene of Li Jianyu throwing himself into Ruan Qing's arms and burying his head in agony, while She Sui and Xiangyi looked at each other and smiled. The host joked, "Men are still young even in death." Indeed, they didn't lie. There was a burst of laughter at the scene. Li Jianyu was crying so hard that his tears and snot were flowing out. He sobbed and said, "I'm sorry, I dirtied your dress." "It's okay." Ruan Qing's smile was as beautiful as a flower. "Just compensate me with 10 pieces later." "Oh right, do you know the price of this dress?" "Huh." Li Jianyu thought, "It's just a dress. How expensive can it be?" Ruan Qing opened her red lips slightly and blurted out a number that made Li Jianyu's soul tremble. Li Jianyu was shocked. Li Jianyu stopped crying. He sniffled and was in a trance. Xiangyi handed him a tissue in time, but Li Jianyu was so stunned that he forgot to take it. Ruan Qing, who had been scaring Li Jianyu just now, was now carefully wiping his tears and snot with a tissue. "Go ahead, it's an honor that belongs to you. You're the one who gave this grand miracle the starting point." Li Jianyu's nose turned sour as he grabbed her hand and said in a sobbing voice, "It's not just mine, it's all of ours." In the live stream, countless people cried because of Li Jianyu's words. "I'm so happy to cry. Sob, 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 everyone is so gentle. Two Under One Roof will always be a god. Director Li Jianyu will always be a god. The best director in the world, the best guest in the world, and the best little drama in the world, Red Heart." According to tradition, the most popular variety award would be received by the director. The host smiled and said, "Why don't we invite everyone from the program team to come up and receive the award together?" As a loyal fan of Two Under One Roof, he was just being a little selfish. Thus, Li Jianyu, Ruan Qing, Xiangyi, She Sui, and the representatives from various departments went up the stage. She Sui gently pushed Li Jianyu to the front of the standing Mai. Li Jianyu was extremely nervous. He was no longer as calm and composed as when he had just won the award. He trembled as he patted the microphone, making a bang-bang sound. "Hello, hello, hello." The guests below the stage laughed, and so did the netizens in the live stream. This was their boss, Director Li. Li Jianyu opened his mouth and wanted to repeat the script he had prepared, but he couldn't remember a single word. He scratched his head. "I forgot my lines." Everyone laughed even louder. Li Jianyu also giggled foolishly. "Forget it then." There are many things in life that don't go your way. I won't get angry if others get angry, but no one will take their place if they get sick. I'm really honored to be able to win this award. On the day of my 19th birthday, I went to the TV station for an internship. At that time, I was wearing a work tag and I thought to myself, I must become a very good director in the future. Then, I felt that I was being ridiculous. How was that possible? Today, I finally have enough courage and confidence to tell my 19-year-old self that my dream has come true. Chapter 952. Li Jianyu raised the trophy and said, "Thank you to everyone who has helped me since the preparation of Two Under One Roof. Thank you to my Qingqing, thank you to Shi Sui, Sister E, and most importantly, thank you to the audience." Thank you, everyone. Li Jianyu bowed deeply to the audience. Xiangyi clapped her hands vigorously while Xiao Naofu imitated her and clapped with its paws. Shi Sui's eyes were gentle and her gaze remained fixed on the young girl. In front of the screen, the other nominated variety show staff members had complicated emotions in their eyes. They also wanted to go to the venue. However, the director's words of "you're not qualified" extinguished their hopes. At first, they felt that it was only right and proper that they weren't worthy. However, when they saw so many staff members of Two Under One Roof standing on stage and receiving the award together, they still felt they were envious. At the award ceremony, everyone got off the stage and the awards for production were presented. Several variety shows had won awards for music, special effects, art, and other categories. The traffic in the live stream was obviously much lower. When the award for the most popular male guest of the variety show began, the traffic instantly increased at an astonishing speed. It's coming. Ah, Shi Sui go. Ha, Two Under One Roof has already won a heavyweight award. How can the judges give another heavyweight award? Even a fool would know that it was impossible. Brother Ing, you can do it. The most popular male guest must be you. Shi Sui's scandal is still on the hot search list. The judges are so fair and impartial, they definitely won't trip up a band artist. Zhen Zai, you can do it. If you get an award today, you can look forward to it in the future. I'm dying of laughter. Tomato Entertainment and Sichuan Bai's and Anan's managers have already clarified the matter regarding Shi Sui and Xiangyi. Didn't you see that? Those two photos are of Shi Sui and Xiangyi's childhood. It's obvious that they're just in a crisis. Shi Sui and Xiangyi are 7 years apart, but in the photos, they look like they're the same age. Those statements are just to deceive fools like you. The live broadcast room was in an uproar. Fans from various families were attacking and tearing each other apart. It was a bloody scene. Shi Sui's sister, who had always been known for her fighting prowess, was now extremely passive. She even posted sayings such as, "Don't be angry, Shi Sui is not good enough," and "Shi Sui is not worthy," which made the fans extremely confused. Could this be the legendary saying, "One who stays with ink will be stained black, and one who stays with rabbits will be Buddha"? In fact, many of the Shi Sui sisters were very nervous. Although Shi Sui's main profession was an actor, everyone wanted his first variety show to be recognized. The person who presented the award was a highly respected producer. He was the pioneer of domestic variety shows and had single-handedly created several popular shows. The producer opened the envelope and looked at the name on it. A rare smile appeared on his usually serious face. "I think this award is well-deserved and well-deserved. Of course, I've always believed that there's no difference in TV shows, and there's no winning or losing between guests. It's good to have competition. This way, the variety industry in China will get better. I believe that everyone already has an answer in their hearts. Everyone has their own most popular show in their hearts, and everyone has their own standards. Similarly, the National Television Program Awards also have a set of standards. Now, let me announce the winner of the Most Popular Male Guest in Variety Show Award for the 6th National Television Program Awards." Countless people held their breaths. Some people prayed, some made wishes, and some closed their eyes. Amidst the silence, the producer shouted out a name. She Sui. Chapter 953. In the live stream, She Sui is She Sui. She Sui is awesome. He won the Best Actor, and Best Variety Award. F***CK. Did he do it at the age of 10? Did he really do it? At the venue. The spotlight shone on She Sui's head as the man in the black suit calmly adjusted his tie. Xiangyi was the first to applaud. The girl's eyes seemed to be filled with stars. There was light in his body and in her eyes. Xiao Naofu snorted and turned its little face away awkwardly. It wasn't happy for She Sui at all. Ahem, just a little. That D***MN man is actually quite impressive. Let's welcome She Sui. The host cued the proceedings. She Sui hugged Xiangyi first, then reluctantly shook hands with Xiao Naofu before going on stage. His black suit made his skin look even paler, his long legs were slender, and his body proportions were perfect. The lines of his handsome face were smooth and clear, and his tie was meticulously tied. The buttons on his shirt were buttoned all the way to the top, making him look incomparably ascetic. Yet, it made people want to rip off his tie and tear open his shirt. He shook hands with the leading producer in a graceful and courteous manner. The producer picked up the trophy from the tray of the hostess and handed it to She Sui. She Sui took it with both hands. Congratulations. The producer smiled and patted him on the shoulder. I hope you can bring more outstanding works in the future, whether it's movies, television shows, or variety shows. She Sui thanked him. Thank you to the judges and the organizers of today's awards. I'm honored to receive this award, and I'm also grateful for the choice I made back then. I'll work harder in the future. Thank you again, everyone. His acceptance speech was probably the most concise of the night. Several hosts heard the director's instructions through their headsets. They hurriedly stopped She Sui before he left the stage. She Sui, please wait. She Sui paused. First of all, congratulations to Shi Yingdi for winning the award. Our live stream is still ongoing, and the audience is very curious about the childhood photos of you and Xiangyi. I wonder if you'd like to chat with us about it? Li Jianyu had shown them the melon just now, but no one took it seriously. The innocent knew that they were innocent and had a clear conscience. She Sui. Sure. With his permission, the director immediately arranged for someone to play the childhood photo on the big screen behind him. Wow, Sister E was so cute when she was young. Another host couldn't help but praise. The girl in the photo was fair and soft. She had 2 small buns on her head and was holding a huge lollipop in her hand. She was smiling brightly. She Sui chuckled. Yes, very cute. There are some misunderstandings among the netizens, saying that this is the child of you and Sister E, because the two of you look, well, about the same age. What's going on? The viewers in the live stream were extremely excited. Ha ha ha, this is a large-scale melon-eating scene. I'm really eating melons from all sides. The director is so good, so good. So is it really a child or not? I think it's ridiculous too. They're 7 years apart, but why do they look about the same age? She Sui's gaze moved away from Xiangyi and landed on his childhood self. After a moment of silence he said, When I was young, I encountered some very bad things. They're all old stories, so let's not talk about them. During my childhood, I was always skinny and smaller than my peers, and I often got sick. When this photo was taken, I was actually already 10 years old. After a pause, he said in a hoarse voice, Every time I think about it, I hate myself at that time. Chapter 954. He was a pale, thin, and sickly young boy. He was powerless against everything in this world. He was always sick, always on medication, and always in therapy. In the beginning, he couldn't interact with people normally. Later on, he got better, but he still hated and even feared contact with women. There was only one person he wasn't afraid of. She had a nice nickname, Tutu. The little girl's life was the complete opposite of his. She was endlessly doted on, but also had a rare gentleness. She was always kind and always had a bright smile on her face. Every time they met, she would share the candy in her pocket with him. If he didn't want it, she would cry. If he did, she would cry too. But she would let him have the candy while crying. She was such a cute little bunny. Just like the morning light. He hid in the darkness, unwilling to take a single step out of the shadows. Sher Sui had thought that these words would remain a secret forever. He didn't expect that one day, he would slowly open up those scars of the past. The man spoke concisely, and in just a few words, he had finished talking about everything that had happened between him and Xiangyi when they were young. There were no flowery words or exaggerated rhetoric. After he finished speaking, he looked at Xiangyi, who was below the stage. The scene was very quiet, and occasionally, a few sobs could be heard. In the comment section of the live stream, the Sher Sui sisters were about to faint from crying. "Oh my God! So you've been through all this?" "Boo-hoo, Sher Sui will only smile when he talks about his little bunny. Shu Xia and She Yuan will never be clean. Why bring a child into this world if you don't raise him? Sher Sui is so skinny. Sister, he must have been well nourished at home. She looks as tall as a 4 or 5-year-old when she's 3 years old. Seriously, it's so sad. I hope all the children in the world can be loved." Below the stage, Xiangyi's eyes were red, but she held back her tears. She wondered if he would have had a different life if he had been born earlier and met Sher Sui earlier. "There's nothing to be sad about," Sher Sui said gently on the stage. "I just accumulated a lot of misfortune in exchange for good fortune. I just accumulated a lot of unhappiness in exchange for a beautiful one." Because of his words, more people couldn't help but cry. Fortunately, the young man met the little rabbit. Luckily, Sher Sui met Xiangyi. Sher Sui returned to her seat. Xiao Naofu curiously poked at the trophy and even bit it with its teeth, trying to confirm if it was made of pure gold. Her sad mood was dispelled a lot by its cute behavior. However, Xiangyi held his hand and whispered into his ear, "What's wrong with you?" "You have me in the future." Sher Sui replied with a smile, "Yeah, I'll be in your life from now on." At this moment, no one was shouting about dog abuse. On the contrary, they felt that this scene was extremely healing. Next up is the most popular female guest of variety show. Let's welcome our guest presenter, Mr. Xiang Feng. "Oh, so we met. Meet? Was it the Xiang Feng they knew?" The netizens were confused. Even Xiangyi had a confused expression on her face. The host read out an introduction. Xiang Feng, a famous entrepreneur, collector, and angel investor, has invested in many domestic variety shows and has made outstanding contributions to our country's variety industry. The netizens were speechless. Is Xiang Feng really a tyrant? Chapter 955. Xiang Feng's appearance as the presenter made many people dumbfounded. Most people were amazed by how impressive Xiang Feng was, but there were also some fans of the other nominated women who began to stir up the crowd. "Are you there? Are the judges playing games? How can a relative present an award ceremony? Isn't this shady? Our sister is so pitiful. It wasn't easy for her to be nominated, but in the end, she has to run into a royal like Xiangyi. I bet she can be guaranteed a spot even if she scored a few points." Some netizens who were less determined began to waver. After all, Xiangyi was also one of the nominees. It wouldn't be appropriate for her uncle to present the award, would it? In the next second, the host continued. "The other presenter is the president of the Radio and Television Association, Madame Mu Jimu." There was an uproar at the venue. The viewers in the live stream were confused. Isn't she just a president? The guests are reacting too strongly. Soon, someone came out to explain. "Oh my God! Everyone, wake up. This is not a private organization. It's an official organization. It can be said that all TV programs in the country have to be reviewed by them. It's unbelievable that such a big shot would actually come to present an award ceremony. Countless people were dumbfounded. At the same time, no one thought that there would be any shady dealings. No matter how impressive Xiang Feng was, could he have bribed the officials? What a joke. Madame Wu's arrival might not seem like much to the netizens, but in the eyes of the guests present, it was extremely shocking. In particular, the few variety show directors who had paid the internet water army to slander Shi Sui and Xiang Yi had all changed their expressions. Using public opinion to pressure them had already failed. They wanted to stir up trouble, but they had failed again. Their internet water army had been bought for nothing. Their money had been spent for nothing. A few of them wanted to cry, but they couldn't and had to force a smile. Yes, we're so happy and looking forward to the results. Look forward to my ass. Was there a need to guess who it was? On the stage, the big screen was playing the exciting performances of several nominated female celebrities in the variety show. When it came to the famous scenes of Xiang Yi catching pigs, cooking, climbing trees, playing the sanxian, shooting arrows, curing diseases, and carrying goods, there were screams in both the live audience and the live stream. It could be said that other female celebrities had a hard time finding material, but Xiang Yi was different. She had so much material that the staff in charge of post-production couldn't bear to delete even a second of it. They were practically in tears as they edited. Ladies first. Xiang Feng handed the envelope to Ms. Mu in a gentlemanly manner. Madame Mu smiled. Let's watch it together. The two of them opened the envelope and took out the card. Xiang Feng's expression was solemn. Madame Mu raised her eyebrows. Their reactions caused everyone's hearts to skip a beat. Now, let me announce that the winner of the most popular female guest in a variety show for the 6th National Television Awards is... Madame Mu deliberately paused and kept everyone in suspense. Her name is 2 words. Everyone. Among the nominees, there were 2 female celebrities with 2 characters in their names. One was Xiang Yi, and the other was a female celebrity from a detective show. They were also very popular. I almost couldn't catch my breath. Please let me be free. The Great Detective is such a loss. It's a variety show from 2 years ago. Xiang Yi won the award because she had an unfair advantage. Laughing at Skr, you're right because you're weak. Spicy Tutu is a Buddhist, but our Shi Sui sister has a temper. Why don't you try being sarcastic again? The comment section of the forum fell silent. Amidst everyone's anticipation, Madame Mu announced clearly, the most popular female guest in a variety show, Xiang Yi. It was as if the whole world fell silent for a moment. A moment later, there was a loud boom. Be it at the venue or on the internet, everyone exploded. Chapter 956. In front of the screen, the faces that were illuminated by the fluorescent light were all staring intently. When they heard the words, Xiang Yi, some screamed, some cheered, and some sat up excitedly. Some even opened the windows and roared, Sister E has won an award. In the live stream, the Spicy Tutu fans were already bawling their eyes out. Sister E is so outstanding. Our Zizi has worked hard. She deserves to be the most popular. The most popular female guest on a variety show, E. Our Xiang Yi is a fake. Shi Sui's sisters also congratulated her. Wow, as expected of Sister E. That's great, that's great. What's going on? I'm more excited than Shi Sui when he won the award, ha ha ha. Congratulations, Sister E. You've won the most prestigious award in a variety show. You must continue to be flamboyant in the future. P.S. Remember to hold Shi Sui's hand while walking. He's not fit to be the only one. At the venue, the spotlights shone on Xiang Yi's head. She had exquisite eyebrows and her white dress made her look gentle and comfortable. She was the kind of person who would shine in the crowd. Hearing that she had won an award, Xiang Yi smiled, but she still looked neither servile nor overbearing. After hugging Shi Sui who was beside her, Xiang Yi lifted the hem of her dress and got up calmly. She walked towards the stage, and the ordinary ground seemed to have turned into a flowery path. Behind her, there was a warm round of applause. Amidst the commotion, she remained calm and composed. After going on stage, Xiangyi leaned forward, nodded in greeting, and shook hands with Ms. Mu. As she moved, her long black hair fell down and she casually tucked it behind her ear. The camera zoomed in on her, revealing her perfect side profile. Her aura was between that of a clean and pure girl and a devastatingly beautiful woman. Just her hair alone was enough to make countless people fall for her. Tutu will definitely be a beauty when she grows up. She's super pretty now too. But I also think she'll look even better in a few years. I almost forgot. Not only am I a foodie fan, but I'm also a fan of pretty sisters' looks. With this face, I can finish 2 more bowls of rice. Madame Mu smiled and said, Miss Xiang, thank you for letting more people understand the traditional culture of our country, such as gourmet food, sanxian, traditional Chinese medicine, farming, and so on. Your live streaming of goods has helped farmers in several counties to escape poverty by relying on agricultural products. You have also introduced Little Rabbit Farm's advanced farming technology. Not only did you treat the guests on the variety show with your medical skills, but you've also made an outstanding contribution to the epidemic in the Western continent. You're truly a medical sage. Also, you should sell our domestic products overseas so that people all over the world can understand, buy, and use our domestic products. You are truly bringing glory to our country. Miss Xiang, congratulations again on winning the award today. I wish you all the best in the future. Everything you ask for comes true, everything you walk is smooth, all you meet are good people, all you see are happy events, all you hear are good news. The chief director of the dispatch room was stunned. This long paragraph was not written in the script. So, Madame Mu is really praising Xiangyi. You flatter me, Xiangyi said modestly. Thank you for your blessings, and I wish you all the best. Madame Mu smiled. In the next second, Xiang Feng pounced on Xiangyi and hugged her while twirling around excitedly. Ahahaha, our Tutu is the world's #1 fan. No rebuttal. Chapter 957. Xiangyi, degree everyone? Mr. Xiang, have you forgotten about your domineering CEO persona again? How can the presenter spin around in circles at an award ceremony? This is ridiculous. Xiang Feng spun around several times before letting Xiangyi land on the ground. He chuckled and asked, Little Xiangyi, how do you feel? Are you very happy? The girl's milky white face looked serious. I feel a little dizzy. Xiang Feng rubbed his nose resentfully. The venue burst into laughter. The atmosphere in the live stream was also very harmonious. Ha ha ha, Xiang Feng is a man who doesn't play by the rules. I went to check on some software. Xiang Feng is really a domineering CEO. Actually, Xiang Feng is just a little silly, but he really dotes on Sister E. He personally came to present the award to Sister E, and he's even happier than Sister E receiving the award herself. Who wouldn't want to share the joy with their family members when they receive the award? Fortunately, the host managed to control the situation in time. Sister E, do you have any words for your acceptance? Xiangyi blinked and answered obediently, Yes, I've prepared a lot. Haha, I hope Sister E doesn't forget her lines like Director Li did. The camera cut to Li Jianyu's face in time. He shrugged and revealed a helpless expression, which made countless people laugh. But soon, everyone's attention was attracted by the dazzling girl on the stage. She held the trophy in both hands, which were slender and soft. Thank you to the organizers, thank you to the judges, I'm very honored to receive this award. Thank you to all the viewers. It was your every click and comment that allowed Two Under One Roof to set countless records. This achievement and honor belong to all of us. Also, I want to thank Director Li Jianyu. It was your invitation that gave me a job when I was about to lose my job. It was your creativity that made this variety show more lively. It was your tolerance that allowed me to do whatever I wanted on the show. It was also you who gave me the opportunity to film a show with Shui. The girl looked in the direction of Shui with a sweet smile in her eyes. Shui told me a secret, and I also want to share a secret with everyone. I have a crush on someone. From being young and ignorant to finally growing up, from being embarrassed to bravely chasing after her. He said that I am his light, but to me, every time I see him, I feel like the world is illuminated. There was a difference of 7 years between us. You were alive, but I wasn't. I had been trying my best to run forward, trying to catch up to that time, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't catch up. Finally, one day, I suddenly understood that 7 years was 7 years, and 7 years was only 7 years. We still have a future. Thank you. The moment he finished speaking, the scene became extremely quiet. However, in the live streaming room, the traffic had already reached its peak since the start of the broadcast. Knock. Kowtow. Ah, what kind of celestial confession is this? KSWL. Childhood sweethearts. They were secretly in love with each other. The double arrow of love. It's so untimely and sweet. Xiangyi nodded slightly in greeting. Just like when she went on stage, she was arrogant yet polite. She lifted the hem of her dress and gracefully stepped off the stage. She smiled and walked towards Shui. Shui got up and hugged the girl's slender waist. There were hundreds of people in the live streaming room and tens of millions of viewers. Shui kissed his little bunny. Chapter 958. It was a short and gentle kiss, but it attracted countless screams. Wah! Ah! Get married. I'll move the Civil Affairs Bureau here. The guests at the scene joked, and the netizens in the live stream went crazy. Friends. This is the kiss of the century. This is the kiss of the century. Wow, this is great. Shui's sister Yi has won an award. Shui, can you do it? Keep kissing her. You're not allowed to stop until you kiss her. Shui smiled faintly and ignored the teasing around him. He looked down and tidied up Xiangyi's skirt while taking over the chubby Xiao Naofu. The kitten was so angry that its cheeks turned into pufferfish. Xiao Naofu kicked Shui hard, trying to escape from his arms and into Xiangyi's arms. Shui casually said, "You're so chubby, Sister Yi will get tired carrying you." Xiao Naofu stopped struggling. It looked at Shui in disbelief. Meow. What did you say? This hoo-hoo is not fat hoo-hoo. Shui thought for a moment and changed his wording. What's wrong? Hugs can't satisfy our Xiao Naofu anymore? Does our Xiao Naofu want a kiss from her brother? Although all my kisses belong to Sister Yi, if our Xiao Naofu insists, I can reluctantly kiss you. Xiao Naofu was speechless. Woof woof woof. Even a dog wouldn't want a kiss from a dog like you. After the award ceremony, the crowd dispersed one after another. Xiangyi and the others were chased by the reporters, who stopped them from leaving. The reporters had endless questions, but fortunately, Ruan Qing was there to deal with them with ease. She avoided the tricky questions with Tai Chi techniques, but at the same time, she didn't leave the reporters with nothing to write about. Until someone asked a question that completely stumped Ruan Qing. Will Miss Ruan marry Director Li? Her ears turned red, and her red lips pursed. She didn't know what to say. Li Jianyu hugged her and said with a smile, "Marriage is the most important thing arranged by the heavens." As soon as he opened his mouth, the reporters immediately asked, "Director Li, is there going to be a second season of Too Bad?" That's right, that's right. A lot of viewers are looking forward to it. Are they already preparing for it? After all, Two Under One Roof is now a national variety show. Li Jianyu rubbed his chin and pondered for a while. Well, let nature take its course, let nature take its course. A reporter keenly caught the main point. If you don't deny it, does that mean you're admitting it? Li Jianyu, that depends on whether Shui and Sister Yi are available. Everyone's eyes lit up as they focused their attention on Shi Sui and Xiangyi. Shengdi, Sister E, will you be participating in the second season of Little Broken? Shi Sui, it's always the two of us. The audience will probably get tired of it. Xiangyi agreed. Yeah. The reporters. So there's going to be a second season. We'll definitely make the headlines tomorrow. No way. We definitely won't get tired of it. A reporter shouted excitedly. Realizing that he had lost his composure, he said awkwardly, I'm sorry, I'm a hardcore fan of Little Broken. I've been following it since the first live broadcast. Xiangyi and Shi Sui faced each other. Xiangyi asked with a smile, Do you want to participate? Shi Sui chuckled. It's my honor. Xiangyi's smile was bright and full of vitality. She waved at everyone. Then, see you in the second season. At the same time, Two Under One Roof updated their Weibo account Frownyface 2 Under One Roof V at everyone. Two Under One Roof is preparing for the second season. I'm meeting with Jun Seong today. Red heart, end of text. The following text was free. In Wan's words, it started with a variety show and ended with a variety show winning an award. Wan feels that this ending is very satisfying. Of course, due to the limitations of my writing skills, there are still some foreshadowing that hasn't been explained, and I want to satisfy the various plots that everyone wants to see, such as Shi Sui and Xiangyi's married life, untimely movie, Xiao Naofu and Little Shiji, etc., so there will be extra chapters. 1 chapter was updated in the morning and 3 chapters were updated tonight, so it's still 4 chapters today. It's expected to be updated on the evening of January 27th. Good night, I'm begging you for monthly votes. Chapter 959. Cut. As director Mu Si shouted, the filming was paused. Mu Si was a talented Chinese director. His films had accumulated more than 10 billion yuan at the box office and he had fans all over the world. At this moment, he had chosen to film his new film in Nanjing. In the middle of a seemingly endless bamboo forest, there was a small Taoist temple. The building was antique and contrasted with the bamboo forest behind it. It was quite artistic. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Please take a 10-minute break before continuing. As soon as Mu Si finished speaking, the actors went back to take a break under the sun umbrella. The assistants went over with fans and drinks while the makeup artists went to touch up their makeup. Mu Si didn't even bother to watch the replay just now. He paced back and forth. She's not here yet? The assistant director was also Chinese and had a good relationship with him. He laughed and said, Soon. Didn't you just talk to Sister E half an hour ago? She said she would be here soon. Speak of the devil. A low-key black business car stopped by the roadside. The door opened and a young man in a white exercise suit got out of the car. He carried a peachwood sword on his back and was Xu Xinglan, who treated his sword as his wife. Next was Shi Sui in sportswear. It was black, white, and gray. He didn't look 27 years old at all. Instead, he looked like a male college student. The girl who got out of the car behind him had a slim figure. She was slim but not too skinny. She was in a simple and youthful sportswear with a short-sleeved shirt and shorts. It was a matching outfit with Shi Sui's. She looked sweet and suave when she moved. Sister E. Director Mu Si walked up quickly, his face full of excitement. Xiangyi waved at him and smiled. Long time no see. You're finally here. I've been looking forward to seeing you here. The assistant director also came over and coughed lightly to remind Mu Si. Mu Si reacted and quickly corrected himself. I've been looking forward to seeing you here. Shi Sui smiled and didn't take it to heart. Xu Xinglan didn't have any objections either. His eyes were fixed on the prop rack not far away. Mu Si was an internationally renowned director. He had invested hundreds of millions in this new film. The costumes were not something ordinary movies could compare to. The props master had spent a lot of effort just to get the weapons on the shelf. There were antiques from private collectors, famous swords forged by contemporary Chinese masters, and even the heirloom of a martial arts family that had been passed down for hundreds of years. Xu Xinglan's reaction did not escape director Mu Si's eyes. Mu Si smiled. "Do you want to go and take a look?" Can I? Of course you can. Go and pick one that's handy. You'll need it for your next shoot. Xu Xinglan. The young boy's eyes lit up as he rushed towards the prop rack. "Wife, I'm here." But sometimes, having too many choices is also a kind of trouble. I want to use this, I want to use this too. Which was prettier, his wife or concubine? Everything was beautiful. He didn't want to make a choice. He just wanted everything. Looking at the young boy's lost expression, everyone couldn't help but laugh. Mu Si was pleased and said, "That's great. He fits the role of the sword fanatic in the script perfectly. By the way, Sister E, do you know any set of sword skills? Can I show it to the martial arts instructor? This way, I can better design your martial arts moves." Xiangyi fell into deep thought. Seeing that she didn't speak, Mu Si comforted her. "It's okay. I know that you mainly focus on actual combat. It's normal that you don't know those kinds of performances." Xiangyi shook her head. "No, I'm just thinking about which set to show." Mu Si. "So not only do you know, but you also know more than one set." Chapter 960. Mu Si tried to sound her out. "We're going to take a photo shoot today. Why don't you do your hair and makeup, and we can see how you look?" Xiangyi was very cooperative. "Okay. You and Shi Sui can go to the makeup room first. I'll see you later." Although it was said that it would take a while, the makeup and hair of an actress was a long process. It took 3 hours for the makeup artist and stylist to dress up Xiangyi, but they still felt that it was not perfect enough. It took more than an hour just to put on the eye makeup, but the result was stunning enough. When Xiangyi reappeared in the bamboo forest, the previous shoot had just ended. The girl seemed to have a magical power, and everyone's attention was drawn to her. The girl was wearing a red and white striped dress, and her hair was tied up into 2 small buns. Her makeup was exquisite, especially her eye makeup. The makeup artist deliberately put in a lot of effort to delineate Xiangyi's doe eyes into a more youthful and round shape. A crimson flower was drawn between her eyebrows, and small sequins were pasted on the corners of her eyes. She looked like a beautiful girl who had walked out of a manga. Mu Si only took one look at her appearance and couldn't stop praising her. "Oh, amazing! You're so beautiful, so beautiful." Shi Sui was sitting beside him. The man had changed into a 3-piece British-style suit and put on a pair of retro gentlemanly glasses. As he turned his eyes, the thin golden chain of the glasses swayed in the air in a mesmerizing arc. Shi Sui looked calm, but in fact, his Adam's apple was moving. At this time, Xiangyi was like a piece of white and sticky rice cake, wrapped in sweet red bean paste filling. It was a very delicious feeling. Mu Si said, "Pick a sword first." Xiangyi walked to the prop rack and glanced around. She seemed to have casually chosen the most ordinary long sword. The hilt of the sword was black, and the blade looked gray. It seemed that the blade had not even been cut. It made one wonder if it could even cut a piece of tofu. A look of disdain flashed across the props artist's eyes. She was really a vase. How could someone who didn't even know how to pick a sword make a good movie? She looked delicate and weak, and obviously didn't have much strength. She should have chosen a light and flashy sword, such as the gem-studded short sword. But she actually chose a sword that weighed as much as 5 kilograms. This was the heavy sword used by the Western Knight and Zhong Kai. Swords were meant to be light and graceful. If she were to hold a heavy sword, she probably wouldn't even be able to swing it, let alone film. The next second, the girl picked up the long sword easily and threw it casually. "Oh, it feels good." The props artist? Did he remember wrongly? That was actually a plastic sword. Most girls would be able to pick up something that weighed 5 kilograms, but he had never seen someone throw it so easily. At the same time, the martial arts director to his disciples to be honest with himself. You're Xiangyi. The martial arts director looked to be in his early 50s. He was not tall and slightly plump, but he was very energetic. His eyes were as sharp as an eagle's. Nice to meet you. I'm He Chuxing. Xu Xinglan's eyes widened. Grandmaster He. He was an existence that everyone in the martial arts world worshipped. Xiangyi greeted him politely. Hello, Mr. He. Don't talk nonsense. Let's see how good you are. Let me say this first. If you cry later, I won't show you any mercy. Let me see how good you are. Grandmaster, he said directly, I'll stand still and let you make 3 moves. Xiangyi, that's not necessary. Chapter 961. Grandmaster He frowned and said, Let's begin. Seeing that he was insistent, Xiangyi did not decline and changed to a wooden sword. Grandmaster He scoffed. Little girl, you don't need to change to a wooden sword. It'll be difficult for you to hurt me. Xiangyi said gently, after all, swords have no eyes. Safety first. It's not just about our safety. It'll be bad if I accidentally hurt someone else. Grandmaster He thought about it and felt that it made sense. His impression of Xiangyi immediately improved. This little girl was quite considerate and had a good temper. Xiangyi cupped her hands. Senior, sorry for the offense. Mu Si was speechless. Wait a minute. Grandmaster He, I asked you to design the moves, not to bully Sister Yi. Mu Si was on the verge of tears. Grandmaster He was a real martial artist. He could easily beat up 10 adult men. What if something happens to Xiangyi later? However, the 2 of them were already in a fighting stance. Mu Si's hair stood on end and he nudged She Sui with his elbow. Why don't you try to persuade him? Let Sister Yi act coquettishly and give in. Grandmaster He won't make things difficult for her. She Sui said calmly, I believe in her. Mu Si was going crazy. Aren't you afraid that Sister Yi will be bullied? How can there be a girlfriend like you? She knows her limits. Mu Si was speechless. Trembling, he started to roll up his sleeves, ready to save Xiangyi at any time. Grandmaster He put his hands behind his back and closed his eyes. A gust of wind blew past, and his white beard and hair moved with the wind. He looked like a peerless master in a wuxia novel. Xiangyi held a sword in her left hand, which made the prop master roll his eyes again. Most people in China had a right-hand dominant hand, which was stronger and more agile. However, Xiangyi had to use her left hand. Wasn't this adding insult to injury? This little vase was probably going to cry and beg for mercy soon. Xiangyi brandished her sword beautifully. Just as everyone was about to cry out, they saw the girl attack Grandmaster He at a speed that was difficult for humans to react to. Everyone was thinking the same thing. Although the speed was fast, this level of attack was definitely nothing to Grandmaster He. Swish! The wind whistled sharply. Before the crowd could see clearly, Grandmaster He actually took a step back. Instantly, Grandmaster He opened his eyes and looked at Xiangyi in surprise. Xiangyi stopped in time and asked innocently, Shall we continue? Grandmaster He's face was dark and gloomy. Let's continue. With a loud voice, Grandmaster He drew a wooden sword from the side. Cries of surprise could be heard all around. Didn't Grandmaster He say that he would give Xiangyi 3 moves? How could he go back on his word? Could it be that he was getting old and forgetful? Or could it be that move just now made him realize that Xiangyi didn't need him to go easy on her? The latter was simply too inconceivable, and no one dared to believe it. The next duel between the 2 could be said to be thrilling. There were no flashy moves, not even superfluous movements. The old man and the young girl were like soldiers on an ancient battlefield, fighting with their lives on the line. They fought with the simplest and most ruthless moves. 2 ordinary wooden swords, but it was even more shocking than a real sword and saber duel. It was so fast that the eyes of ordinary people couldn't catch it. Bang! After the two swords collided again, Xiangyi took a few steps back, but Grand Master he stood firmly on the spot. The little vase had lost. It was as expected. Just as the props master had a gloating smile on his face, he saw the wooden sword in Grandmaster he's hand shatter. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.